You okay there? So shall we start? Yeah, we can start. So first, thank you. Thank you for coming so early in the morning, just out of a party we had yesterday night for some of you. And thank you for everyone who's watching through YouTube, or if you're watching a replay. This is happening on March 10th, and we are at the Ethereum Community Conference. So I will introduce you our protocol, the Booking Token Unit Protocol, that has been submitted as an EIP to the Ethereum GitHub, and you will find it under ERC 808. The company we've started to work on this protocol is called 808 Labs. Just when you, thank you. All right. So we are the first conference in the morning. So we're trialing the hardware. So we are software guys. So when the hardware doesn't work, we don't know what to do. Non, c'est encore pire. PDF. Même ça marchait bien. Il a marché. It was working well. Thank you. No. Aussi. No more battery? Yeah, here. Okay. Good. Thank you. No, I'll use the keyboard. Safe. Yeah, you're welcome. So getting back there, presenting you at Ethereum Community Conference on March 10th, the Booking Token Unit Protocol. My name is Hervé HABABOU. I'm the president of 808 Labs, because this Booking Token Unit Protocol has been presented here as the EIP 808 for being the ERC 808. So just I will introduce myself very quickly. I am a software engineer, trained actually from the CNAM, from the place we're in today. But at that time, they didn't do much software programming here, so we had to be somewhere in a bunker with no windows, and that was about 20 years ago. I founded 808 Labs with my partner, VIDAL, who a lot of people know in France for being an enthusiastic speaker and engineer and expert in Ethereum. Maybe some of you may have seen his web series with teaching for free on the Ethereum technology. So I will present to you the issue we've been facing with the internet for some time now, and how we came up with the idea for this ERC 808, so that you understand the context. When 20 years ago and more that, the internet came, it was very much a decentralized network, and we expected that because of the nature of the network, the nature of the business that will be built upon it will be decentralized, that will cut the middleman, that will let people interact peer-to-peer. Okay? And we've seen that happening with emails. We've seen that happening with a number of systems and protocol, but we haven't seen that happening with value. We haven't seen that happening with marketplace. It's actually the opposite that happened. If I look into the transfer of value, we've seen companies like PayPal, if we coming in, and if I look into marketplaces, what happened is actually no middleman was taken out there, were just new middlemen that actually were winner takes all, ended up being very centralized platforms. So where we started with a technology that was supposed to cut the middleman, or to decentralize at least, to let people run peer-to-peer, because we didn't have the blockchain at that time. We didn't have a way to make sure that there is trust in a trustless world. Then what happened is that most of the value in a number of industries became captured by those new middlemen. That's what we call the internet platforms today. Yeah, and those internet platforms, they are very, very centralized by the nature of things, because of what we call the network effect. And if you're familiar with this, the business strategy frameworks, you will understand that now today, the service providers, the people who actually provide the service, who invest in the hardware, who invest in the real estate, those people incur the cost, and actually the profits go to the people who own those winner-takes-all centralized platforms. Yeah, this is the situation today in a number of industries. Okay, you can, from the cloud, from renting clouds, from renting hotels, from renting anything you can think of. So we looked into that issue, and we looked into how the crypto is the opportunity, and in general the blockchain is the opportunity to break those network effects, yeah, or to build new network effects based on tokenomics, based on the Ethereum platform, to really reorganize the value chain in those markets. So I will dig more into the issue of the booking industry. The booking industry is very interesting, because at its core, it's very generic, the features that you're actually required to book a resource. But each industry or vertical came up with a centralized solution to cover it, because they needed to basically reconcile the offer and the demands. They became what we call multi-sided marketplace. That means they had to both work on the offer and demand side, yeah? And that made it very difficult for smaller players or people that were focused only on one part of the equation to offer their help and to be part of the solution. So what we think is the solution is to look at it from a protocol level, yeah? To look at a decentralized booking protocol that's mainly initially B2B. Obviously, if you guys know how to use a wallet that runs, that calls smart contracts, you can cut that. But it's mainly a B2B protocol so that everyone can benefit. It's being standardized as ERC 808, so you can go on the GitHub of the Ethereum Foundation and look up for 808. It involves a token, smart token, and a data model that enables the booking process, but in a very generic way. We're not building anything specific to any vertical, to any industry, okay? And obviously, the smart contracts there to make sure that the people in the decentralized booking, using the decentralized booking protocol, are behaving properly. So you want a smart contract to embed the rules about deposits and about rewards. You want to make sure that if parties to the decentralized booking protocol, obviously if they don't trust each other, they need to have reasons to trust each other. So you need to penalize bad behavior, and you need to reward good behavior. So bad behavior would be to book a resource and not pay for it, or not cancel it on time. That would be bad behavior, okay? You need to penalize that. Good behavior would be actually to find a customer or to find someone to use that resource and to send that customer over to the people who own that resource and or who manage that resource. And these people too. And this behavior needs to be rewarded. So this is what you will find, and we'll talk about it later on, in the protocol specifications. Okay, so digging in into the step process, you will find this schema in the GitHub as well. There's just no, oh, okay. On the left side, you've got the resource provider. Can be anything, any type of resource for, I will just take an example that's not there. I'm a provider of GPUs, and I want to sell those GPUs to the machine learning community, okay? So I have GPUs available when they're not mining Ether, and I'm a provider of this resource. So I'm using the SDK that we are providing, and I'm publishing the availability of these resources onto infrastructure that is both on-chain and off-chain for scalability reasons. Over time, then we hope that more and more will be on-chain, obviously. And on the other side, I have the people who end up needing those resources. So I may have an application that's DApp, decentralized application. I may have an internet platform there. I may have a software company that actually providing these resources to their own customer. So it could be an AI software company with, that collects data at its customers, and they need at some point to rent those GPUs. Yeah, but before they rent it, it needs to book it to get the cheaper price, so that there are no just GPUs run for nothing. Yeah. So what will happen is obviously the booker, the guy who's have this, who needs to book the resource, will just use the protocol to make this signaling. So he will request the resource provider will need to approve it. Okay, they will exchange tokens within the protocol to make sure that we can penalize and reward good and bad behaviors. And they will end up booking the resource. And this is the booking protocol. So we're not involved with paying. We're not paying. Paying can be done in Ether, can be done in euros or USD. We're just working on the booking protocol, yeah? So we're focusing on this particular process that then can be leveraged by any industry. We're fully open source. The specification of the protocol has been published, as I said, is ERC 808. We are going to release over time reference implementations, plugins for the people who run internet website, plugins for the people who run specific software, SDK for various software languages, so that we can have software company that already are dealing with a specific industry, and typically if they are enterprise resource planning type software, they will be able to integrate with the Ethereum blockchain without knowing much about the intricacies of working with Solidity or things like this. So we will provide all these resources for free. They will be totally open source, totally accessible. And if you guys want to contribute to it, then you're welcome to do so. You can contribute to the protocol, and you can also contribute to the reference implementations. Yeah. If you know and have friends in the developer community at software companies that want to integrate the protocol inside their software, if there is a software that's for local government, we've been speaking with people like that. In local government, they want to make sure that the resource I published and there is the highest use of their resource. And they have specific software companies that unfortunately are not very capable on the blockchain because the resources are scarce. Then they can use the plugins that we provide. Well, I won't go too much in this conference in the business side of things. Just to give you, again, the information that this is a technical protocol at a business process layer, but it can be leveraged by anyone. Yeah, and this may be a list of things that we thought about, and it may end up being used elsewhere. Okay, actually, one of the guys said, well, we could use the booking protocol to book token sales. So that could be differently applicable to the things we're seeing today. But it could be used to book a car repair. It could be used in the advertising business. It could be used to reward people that are sending, referring business to other. Okay, so if you're referring a customer to a resource provider, this could be a way also to incentivize it. Yeah, so it's as well as we're focused on the booking. It also embeds all the right rules to reward good behavior, as I said previously. So I'll just let you imagine what you can do with it. We welcome anyone who wants to contribute in a particular vertical. I will offer the software for free, obviously, to anyone who wants to build a specific vertical application to showcase. We organized a hackathon 2 weeks ago. And we got various ideas came in, and a lot of developers, we had more than 50 people working on the protocol, started developing their own application based on the protocol. Okay, so I won't go too much into the benefits. I think it's quite clear. If we're providing all this software and all the protocol, then we're lowering the operational cost, and we make it more profitable for the industry at large. They will need to spend less probably in the end in specific verticals in marketing, and it will be more open. Okay, just think about it. If the availability book is decentralized, if that's on blockchain, that's more open. That lets more people get in, and they will spend less to cater to their customers. Okay, I'll just go there. Okay, so I took a concrete example just a few minutes ago about booking GPU resources. You could take any example of booking any type of resource. I just took an example here that's more that everyone can understand, so that if someone's watching on YouTube and is not a software engineer, it will talk to him. So if I look into the hotel booking business, everyone knows about hotels. We've all used hotels. We've all used those websites, those centralized platforms. Just to give you an idea, the two monopolies, the OTA, the online travel agents that are that we know, they're getting about 90% of the market. So they're very centralized. So it's a good example of an industry that's been very, very centralized thanks to the internet network effects. Well, obviously governments or the lobby, they've tried to break that. Okay, they've made special laws, especially in Europe, try to break that. It didn't work because it just doesn't make any sense, because you as a consumer, you want to go on the website that has the greatest number of hotels, and hotels, they want to go on the website that has the greatest number of consumers. Okay, and they don't share the inventory, of course. They don't share consumers, and they don't share the inventory. Yeah, so this can be broken in two already, and we can solve the solution with Ethereum. We could solve this solution with a booking protocol. That's only if it's decentralized. Yeah. So I won't go into the details, just to give you an idea of the money that's in. They're spending like $8 billion in marketing. They're just the most profitable companies, among the most profitable companies in the industry. They make more money than the people who actually own, build, and operate the hotels. Yeah. So if you look at the decentralized approach and how this problem could be solved using a booking protocol, the hotels are already using software. They're already using property management software. They're already using what we call channel management services. So they're already publishing the availability to these OTAs. So we were just telling them, we're providing you the SDK and the protocol. It's all free, it's open. Go and publish the same availabilities onto the blockchain. Yeah? And on the other side, we're saying to anyone who can use a wallet maybe, or anyone who's a bit more sophisticated and wants to cater to his own consumer, you can use the same SDK, you can use a reference implementation, you can build your website, and you will have access to the same inventory. You're going to be playing on the same playing field. So you will be able to bundle services. So this is quite innovative. And that means also that people are sharing this information and making use of it, and it's much more powerful. And because it's all based on the same technical protocol that is totally industry agnostic, it doesn't matter if you're booking a hotel, or you can even bundle services with the exact same protocol. Okay, you can book a hotel, you can book the flight, you can book everything that comes with it, you can book this conference with the same protocol. So you can have much better, much more innovative UX, and everything can be in your mobile phone. It just depends on the software developer to invent the applications. Yeah. So just 5 minutes to let you know that you can look into the EIP submission on the GitHub. Yeah, you will find exactly this there. You also have the abstract where we explain what I did shortly explain to you. You will find the actual ERC specification, and we will release soon the reference implementations. Yeah, so difficult to read, but well, they are smart contracts basically implementing the protocol. Okay, so just I think. I won't go into details because that's not really the purpose. Yeah. So I guess you said you have a few more minutes. Do you want me to take questions? 2 questions? All right. In the mic because there are like 2 million people watching. They want to hear a question.
I was freelancing at Low Cost Holidays, and I watched what happened to the company when Booking.com took aim at them, and they just had no idea why suddenly their bookings fell off. So it was pretty incredible to just see the CEO just destroy another company with pricing. I'm just curious whether with the open network, you can imagine the incentives realigning a little bit to help the hotel owners, or to kind of not smash their margins so much, and whether because it's run on an open network it prevents some kind of monopolistic behavior like they were doing. Yeah, I'm just really curious.
Yeah, well, obviously it's a technical protocol, so we just took the hotel industry as an example. We are not ourselves aiming at disrupting in that vertical. We're aiming that developers will do it for us. So if you have experience in that industry, then you're welcome to work with us on the protocol. Yeah. Now I will answer your question on a business strategy because I think it's similar to other industries. I think the level of margins that have been taken by those platforms is only due to the market power that they have. Because they have this market power, because they're centralized, because they have 90%. This is even worse than banks. This is, in some countries, banks have lower market share than that. Like two parties there, they have 90% market share. So they can do whatever they want. They have the market power, and they can get 25, 30% commission without doing much than just taking an XML file in and just building a JavaScript website out. Okay? So if you decentralize, you give more power to the network, then obviously over time you can expect things to balance. Yeah? And this would be the logical next step. Obviously, if there is only one guy who's using the protocol and there are two consumers using it, won't happen overnight. But over time, yes, you can expect things to rebalance. Thank you. Anyone else? Well, I'm glad I was so clear. Well, if you need more information, you can contact us on the btuprotocol.com website. I invite you again to check ERC 808, to contribute to it. When the reference implementation is published, I invite you to also comment on it. And the more developers are looking at it, and the better for everyone, and for the Ethereum community as well. Thank you very much.